Hi there, here's another video, and this will be one of those flowing videos where I just talk. I don't have any subjects that I'm going to talk about. I change the kind of videos that I do. Sometimes I could be talking to the camera. I haven't done one of them for a while. I can talk about a certain subject, but all in all, when I'm doing these talks, I am channeling information, and this information is within everyone, right? And it's within your heart Vortex center that you can tune into this information. And it's, it would appear that you're interacting with something external, but it's actually internal that the information is. And I suppose it's the same thing when someone prays, or like in this picture here, it's the source that you're tapping into, but the source is within the heart area, which is a vortex, a doorway that is the connection to source. And this is what is happening, is opening up when you start going through that spiritual awakening process. I had an unexpected spiritual awakening at the age of 24. I'm 33 my birthday, so just under 10 years. And everything started to become oneness. Everything started to become me. And the reason is because everything becomes oneness once your heart area opens up. Now, mine did it unexpectedly. And the reason it was unexpected, because I had enough one day, and then all of a sudden, it was such a powerful feeling of I've had enough, that the authentic heart space power started coming through, which is your authentic side. The authentic side is the divine soul side. And then I started to have insights into things. I started to know things. I started to understand things. Everything became oneness. I started to see how everything was one. It was all connected. Even if you look around you, everything's connected, like it's just one simulation. And everything's connected to the same thing. Like what quantum physics talks about in science. They talk about how a little object is everything else. And lately I've been working a lot on my new website. I have a website now, and the website is www.lovelightfamily.com, and I've got so many different subjects to talk about on there. I've got one of the best pages is a page, I think it's called Connecting the Human Brain with Artificial Intelligence, and that page has information on connecting the human brain with artificial intelligence, what they want. It also has a link to China's artificial intelligence, and also I speak about on there about the vaccines technology and the vaccines that connect us with artificial intelligence also. I also have a new page I worked on today called the COVID-19 Agenda, which you should have a look at, and that explains the connection between COVID-19 and vaccines and AI. And worth a look. And that's where most of my information is now, because I was starting to get threats from Facebook and Instagram as well. And I thought, right, I'm going to have to get a website so I can just put everything on there. Because, like I say, even information, it doesn't matter what the information is actually. The fact is that they're trying to censor the internet, and That's what it means to have your brain connected with AI. It means that the AI is the internet. To simplify, artificial intelligence is basically the internet. And if you have your brain connected to the internet, remember they're censoring the internet just now. So what it means is if your brain's connected to that, then you're getting a censored internet. It means that the thoughts that you'll be receiving will be from the censored internet, which mean outside thoughts and outside expression and new ways will be a thing of the past. And that's what it means if you connect your brain with AI, and that's what the agenda is. The agenda is to have society dumbed down. And like I was talking about my spiritual awakening earlier, that's why I've been going to the spiritual awakening, and others on the planet also, because that's what's going on. There's a global spiritual awakening happening. And the reason all this AI stuff is coming out now is because of the threat of awakening. The threat of awakening means that no demonic force can feed off of fear anymore. Remember, that's why the system needs you in fear. But the problem with that game is, as I said earlier in the last video I done, that when you put people in fear, they wake up at some stage. They don't stay in that fear for very long. Right? We only put up with fear for so long until we wake up. So the demonic forces don't really have long before that happens anyway, on any planet. And that's what this is all about, you know. David Icke talks about these bloodlines that link to these demonic entities that feed off of fear, and love kills these demons. And that's what everything's returning to on this planet, and that's why the system now is reacting. With the COVID-19, the climate change hoax wasn't working, and it's because of the fact that people are waking up all over the planet in all different ways. You know, you've got people that are being violent, which I don't agree with. You know, you've got people protesting against the lockdown. And you've still got the little people who hide behind the system. And they just, like them kind of people, just want to bury their head in the sand. And in 20, 30 years' time, they're not going to have much to say to their children or grandchildren regarding of what's happened now. What are they going to say when their children ask, what were you doing back then? They won't be able to say much, will they? So they're just creating their own downfall. They're creating their own hell, you know, because it is going to be like hell when they have to explain to their children the fact that they just stood by and watched as this AI grid was unfolding. But we all have a choice, you see. And the fact of the matter is that there's an awakening happening, but only if the people choose to awaken. Awakening is a choice. And the global awakening can only happen by people choosing to wake up. And the proper way to defeat the system is not through violence, because that's the same energy of the demonic forces. The way is through the heart area that I was talking about earlier, through the heart center and through love. And then when you're going by your authentic side within your heart space, you don't have any fear anymore. Because love doesn't fear anything. Right? And that's what we must go by. And then what happens is when enough people do this, you have a situation where you can't control people that are in that kind of mode of abundance and love, and they feel invincible. And then the system's game is over. So this doesn't have to be violent. It doesn't have to be anything like that. It's just a situation where you have to just go by your authentic side. Do what you know to be right. Do what is going to grow you to the best that you can grow. And then that shows others how to be. You become then an example of what to be, not an example of what not to be. But what to be, that's what you need to be. Be an example. Be an example of growth, of prosperity, of abundance, of happiness, of love. And that's what's going on the planet, and that's why you're seeing a reaction. Because the system at its core is this demonic energy. And the demonic energy came from us originally, because everything comes from us, actually. Everything's one. And the reason we created this, right, this energy field, is so that we can learn from it, and then because evil is necessary for growth. Right? You need the dark night to have the stars. Right? And that's the point. Right? That's the point of, reality in general is shades of differences and stuff like that. And that's the point of everything. So that we reflect in the future and we understand why this had to happen. But like I say, the awakening as a whole can only happen if people choose to wake up. If you don't, then it's you that's going to have to answer to people in years to come. That you're going to have to explain yourself on the fact that you did nothing. On the fact that you didn't even try to make a YouTube video. You didn't try to say anything to anyone to make people aware of what's going on. Just hiding behind your system and clapping for the NHS isn't enough to help the planet through its awakening process. That's why we're here, you see. Everyone is here to help the planet evolve and to awaken just now. That's our soul mission on this planet. That's your job on this planet. Now, when people don't do their job properly, this is why you've got reincarnation. Reincarnation is for trapped souls who haven't evolved past this reality. We come here to evolve past this reality so we can go to a next version of reality. Now, that version of reality might be a parallel version of Earth. It depends. But that's why we're here, to help the planet evolve and then evolve to the next level. And when you're not doing your job properly, you'll just come back to this hell. And I don't think many people would like that, because it's not a very evolved planet. But we can make it evolved and more awake if we want to, if we choose that. And then it might be a planet that you want to come back to, to make a difference and to help it even more. But it all starts, you help the planet by helping yourself. It's all about spiritually awakening yourself. And you do that simply by being present. Once you let go and you're present and you start to let your authentic side come through you, that's when the spiritual awakening starts manifesting. And then you start to be in this meditative state of presence, of oneness, and you start getting this inner guidance come through you. And that's how you spiritually awaken yourself, and then you become an example to others on how to awaken, on how to heal, how to become just a state of abundance and joy. And that's it. It's so easy. It's such an easy thing, but a lot of people don't do it because you have to get hurt a certain amount of times before you say no to the hurt. That's why not everyone's awake yet, because they haven't had enough of the suffering yet. But once you have enough, then you be present and then you wake up. And I'm just going to leave it there. And if you're watching, you're meant to watch it. Everything falls in divine order and divine timing. Make sure to check my website for all latest information and videos and topics, new topics. And my website is www.lovelightfamily.com. I'm just going to leave it there. Thank you for watching and listening. Thank you.